Hey, what is up, everybody? We got a monster in the house. What's up, Sean?
What's good? I'm just of being a Steelers fan right now.
Sad, baby, sad, just bummed out. That's good, man. That's Sean's Halloween mask, my friends. Oh, that's good. That is so good.
What's up, everybody? What's up, Jason? Thanks for having me back
Oh.
on Mic Drop Sports, man. How's it been?
Living a dream, man. Good to have you, man. Good to have you. Let's see who's in the chat here, real quick. We'll get moving. Miss Pittsburgh in the house. There's Sean. There's TD. You guys put your stuff inside of the chat as we move through here on our Wednesday show here on Steel City Live and Mike Drop Sports. I'm Jason. That's Sean. If you're not watching it now, you can watch it later. We're gonna dive into a ton of stuff, man. The GP stuff, a ton of other things too, man. That I wanted to talk about that I didn't get to talk about this week, Sean. But I don't think I've talked to you after the game, live anyway. I don't think you came on. Did you come on after the game?
No, it's been a
Oh, you
while.
were working. Yeah, you were
Yeah,
working. Yeah, yeah. Who did it play again? Oh, the Dallas freaking
Cowboys.
Cowboys. What'd you think of the game, Sean? We didn't get to hear your thoughts about it.
Bro, it was such a tough loss for me. I took that one really hard. I was pretty upset the past few days over it. I've been kind of cursing all kinds of people under my breath, but that was a tough one, you guys, especially to come so close. With such a big hit. Landon Roberts really got me fired up at the end with that hit, bro. But
Ah,
man, oh, that was a tough one, you guys.
it is a tough one, and we're going to move to the Raiders, but I wanted to know what Sean had to say about that. And I had a lot of notes that had been written down from Tomlin Tuesday press conference. I know we're a day removed from that, but there's some talking points I wanted to talk about there. What do you think about this whole GP thing, Sean?
Hmm.
Is it becoming a distraction? Or is it just a 23-year-old young man trying to figure his way out in the NFL and trying to find his way? And you think he can get back on track?
I feel like he's still showing signs of being immature about things. He's in his third year now in the NFL. He needs to act right and stop being a commotion, like basically causing any distraction. So I do see it as a distraction, and it's irritating, bro. Like, and even for him to write what he had across his face, I didn't like that either.
Right.
He something's going on, like you say, in that locker room, and for him, that's kind of like him acting out to me. And you gotta ask why. Why is he acting out? Well, it's probably because he's not being used right with the scheming, with the coaching. So that's my
Absolutely.
guess. Yeah, and I've been agreeing with you on basically everything you saying all week. I'm pretty upset with Tomlin and just the preparation or lack thereof in Pittsburgh for coming up in these games and coming up short and playing ultra conservative. Um,
Yeah.
bro, yeah, this has been tough the past few weeks.
Yeah, and I hate to see it. I don't want GP. Like, I get it, man. I've been 23. You were 23 at one time. It's tough, man, sometimes. And yeah, you got to figure shit out. And I understand that. And I don't want to see the young man destroy himself. Like, I hate that. I think it's ridiculous when players do that. I hope that isn't the case for him. I don't think it's to that point as of right now, but we'll see. But Mike Tomlin made a comment about that wide receiver room that I wanted to start off with here tonight, and he made this comment Tuesday in his press conference. And he said he likes the wide receiver room. He's comfortable with what they have done so far. Are you comfortable, Sean, with what they have done so far? Or do you think it's a scheme problem? Not even maybe a wide receiver problem, or do you think it's a combination of maybe both?
I think there's a problem with the scheming, yeah, and they haven't been using the tools properly that they have. And what we're seeing is like a snowball effect of frustrations coming forward. I think people are not only kind of acting out, but they're. It seems like they're not playing as good. They're not playing solid football, and I think that yeah, there's obviously something toxic going on behind the closed doors in there. I think the players are becoming frustrated. It's
Mm-mm.
obvious to us, and not to mention that that it's rolling over into like the offense isn't performing, which is leaving our defense out, and which is probably why we're getting these injuries stacked up all of a sudden.
Mm.
So it's
Yeah,
just this whole thing has just been a disaster, and I'm actually
yeah.
worried right now.
Thomas even asked, is GP becoming AB? That's the big question too. Is he? I don't think it's boiled over to that point, to that magnitude yet, to where GP is going to go off the rails. I don't think it's there just yet. I hope it's not there just yet. GP just did, George Pickens, he just did an interview today of some time, I believe, and he was talking about highly, I think, about Coach Tomlin. I didn't get to watch the interview yet, but I did hear a little bit of that maybe being the case, or maybe it was yesterday. But I'm not. No, I don't know if I'm comfortable with what this wide receiver room has done so far, and I don't think, to answer Thomas's question, that he's become an AB. Do you think he's become an AB, Sean?
No, I don't think so. I think that a lot of receivers kind of they've watched everything happen with AB and they know what road that goes down. So I think he is acting out though, and he's got some immature tendencies that he's showing. So I would just keep that in mind. He still is young. I'm getting past the point of thinking, well, he's he's not old enough to know what's better. I mean, he's old enough to know. I mean, that's what I meant to say. He knows that he's acting out and how to act. This guy's got to have the class. You should be professional and hold yourself like in a professional way. And you're under the national media is covering you. You're on the national stage. There's so
Yeah.
many people, including kids, watching you. And these guys need to start acting more like role models, for not just community in the NFL, but for the all the kids watching. When I have my son sitting there watching a game with me, you got guys freaking out and acting out on TV. I don't like that. When they show bad sportsmanship, because I'm trying to teach my son how to be a good sport at a young age. For these kids to look up to these guys on a professional level and say that's what I want to be like one day, and then they act a fool on TV, like that gets to me. So I'll stop
Yeah,
going
and
off on
writing
my
the F
tangent.
word and writing
Yeah,
the F word on your eye black. I didn't
on your
like that.
face. My
Yeah, I'm
son
not down
saw
for
that.
that.
Yeah, my son noticed that. Like
Yeah, there's a
he's
limit to the
8.
shit. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's a limit, man. And like you're saying, like, yeah, and I know these guys are like, well, I'm not here to be a role model. I'm not here to, like, teach your kids or anything. Well, guess what? You're in the public eye, and you are. We have to hear your political opinions whenever you spout them off. We have to hear your social opinions whenever they spout them off. So, what's the difference there whenever we expect you to be a solid man for the young youth that are watching and supporting and buying the merchandise and wearing the jerseys? Because let's face it, the kids buy the most jerseys. You know what I mean? So, yeah, act right, dude. Act right. How
yeah.
about Hawaiian Island Sean? John Broadway keeps thinking that's a good one for you.
Hey man, whatever you guys want to call me, as long as it's nothing derogatory.
I got some bad names for him. Danny George, we go through this process every year. Relax, Steelers family. It will be okay. That brings up a good point with what Danny said there. Do you think this is just part of the ebbs and flows of a NFL season? And do you think that this is just something that happens? Or is this just something, Sean, that Steelers fans have grown accustomed to because of the average seasons that we've watched for a decade now? Is that just where we've gotten to the point of, hey, this is going to just happen? Or is it part of an NFL season, or maybe a combination of both?
Man, that's a good point. It could be a combination of both. But me myself, I can speak on my behalf, and I'm not accustomed to it. I still have high expectations for the Pittsburgh Steelers to go into the postseason each and every year and make a good push. And it's been far too long for this
Mm.
to just continue on the way it's gone. And at one point, you're going to have to really take responsibility for it and take action within the organization. As in Mike Tomlin, he is the common denominator, as you've been pointing out, and I'm tired of it myself. I want changes. I want to see a championship again.
Yeah, hey, I've literally went back in subscribers because I've been going hard on Mike, and I'm sorry, I'm not going to change that. And I'm just telling the truth. It's not that I dislike Mike Tomlin on a personal level. That's not the case. I just dislike what he's putting out there as a product on the football field. And when you just brought it up there, the denominator is him, the common denominator in the math equation. It is the truth. It is what it is, and we just gotta uh, realize that. And I think this, Sean, I think it's a joke because he's not changed anything in almost a decade. And I'm being fair there. I could go back maybe the whole time, but he hasn't changed anything. And do you think that you can win games playing Tomlin ball nowadays? Do you think that that is a formula for success by being just or leaning on the defense constantly, always winning games by defense? Do you think that that is a recipe for success moving forward for the Steelers to continue to play Tomlin ball?
No, I think we're going to see the exact same thing we've been seeing the past several to a decade of years. It's something needs to change, and it hasn't been. And yeah, you can get these amazing players on defense, and they can get you in the game, and they can get you some wins, but they're not going to get you a Lombardi. You can only go so far. You got to have help on both sides of the ball.
Absolutely, man. And you got to mix it up. You got to be different, Sean. And that's what I'm wanting to get at. And it's, excuse me, it's not just beat up on Mike Tomlin every day and, just bash him. It's the whole coaching staff. You have to be different each and every week in the NFL. This is the professional level, man. You can't come in with power on right, 23 blast every damn play, and I'm just saying, those are the plays you like here when you're a youth kid growing up and you're learning just basic offensive formations and things. But yeah, you can't come in there just running the same damn thing every week and expect a different result when you are at the most elite level of sport. And I find the NFL to be the most elite level of sport across the world at any sport, in my opinion. I think it's the most complex game to play. I don't know. That's just my opinion, Sean. Maybe I'm a little off base too.
I think a lot of people will agree with you there.
Beer Malls actually start with the passing game to set up the running game. Yeah, that is something that you can definitely do, no doubt about it. It's really, yeah, you can use both ways, man, no doubt about it. It's just something you have to be different, versatile, and mix things up, and you can't never do the same thing twice in the NFL because people copycat you, and people are on to you, and people know exactly what you're doing. It's definitely a league you can't do that. I wanted to bring up something here when I was watching the Mike Tomlin press conference, also, not to beat a dead horse with this press conference, but um, whenever they do these press conferences, you have Bob Pompiani, Missy Matthews on there, and they do like, the commentating and things of that nature, and they work for the Steelers, and I understand that. But I just don't feel like when these people are talking, and I'm not bashing these two, I'm just using them as an example of what they're on there. But or do you think the media holds this coaching staff, this coach in particular, uh, to a high enough standard? Do they hold him accountable enough? Do you feel like they're asking him the hard questions?
No, I don't feel like they are. I feel like they kind of just let him have the keys to the car and he's driving, and whatever happens, happens until they actually put their foot down, do something about it. Nothing's going to change, and
Yeah.
that's what I think. I don't know. I feel like the Roonies are they're pretty cool people, man. They're successful, and people love them for a reason. They're not overbearing. They probably don't have their thumb down on the coaching staff. I see this as it's not the Roonies, but then again, they got to do something about it. They got to step in and take action at one point.
Yeah, somebody got to step in, man, and we got to figure this stuff out. Bear Mall says it's like, let's get 10 to 14 points on the board and let's start eating the clock down. And I noticed that against the Cowboys, Sean, and I didn't think that that was a recipe for success. I felt like they got that lead, or they've kept it close or whatever. And I've seen it in more games than just that, just throughout the years here. And I think that that is a theme where you're getting a small lead. You're up by 3, you're up by 4, you're up by maybe a touchdown, and they take the gas pedal and rip it out of the car because they're not going to hit the gas anymore, man. It's all brake. They're just slowing it down, and I think Beer Maltz is right there. That's what they do. I don't want to see that anymore, Sean. I want to see a football team go out there from start to finish and go all out and not have any chains hanging down on people to slow things down, eat the clock. Dude, I just want to see him go out there one time and just play loose, fast, and free. And do you see this football team so far this season? At any point, do you see them playing that way? Or is it just in spurts you see them play that way?
It feels like it's in spurts, and I agree, man. I wish they would come out at the very beginning of the football game and play as if it's the final 2 minutes in the game and you're down by 3 and you got to go put the points up. You got to go score. You got to move down the field. You have to attack. And you can't sit there and just run the clock out and just play conservative football. They need to
Yeah.
go, like you say, for the full 60 minutes, come out attacking, attack downfield. And we've seen that they have the talent to score fast. And the
Yeah.
fact that they keep doing this conservative game and they just want to keep running the ball and not really, they're basically playing predictable football. It's so
Oh,
predictable.
yeah.
I could sit there and I just kind of slouch my head down sometimes. Like, here we go. We're gonna go.
That's right.
Yeah, we're gonna run the ball twice and try to throw it on third down here.
Yeah. You can't win like that, bro. You just can't. You can't
No.
do it. John Broadway says new Jets head coach. After only 4 games in, they fire the head coach. It can be done everywhere else, but why not here? We're gonna dive into that. Make sure you're hitting the like button, guys. Make sure you are sharing the shit out of the show here on Steel City Live. We truly, truly appreciate you. I'm Jason. That's Sean. We are here doing our daily show. Last night I didn't get home till late, so I wasn't pushing the issue. But we are here today. So yeah, Sean. It can be done everywhere else. And do you think the Steelers should maybe, be a little bit more non-loyal, for lack of a better term? Do you think they should sometimes maybe do what some of these other teams do and just clean house? Or do you like the way the Steelers run it?
Man, that's a tough question. It really is. And yeah, I think it's time for a new head coach. I really do. You
There you
know,
go.
I'll just leave it at that.
But do you like how these other teams just fire people randomly throughout the seasons? Do you like the way they do that? Or would you rather, be loyal to a degree and be like, okay, we'll give you, 5 or 6 years. And if we're not seeing the results, then we'll do it. Or do you like the way some of these teams are like, look, 4 games in, you ain't got it done. We're finished, man.
I'm not against like letting him finish out this year and try to prove himself. I'm always I always like the idea of room for improvement, no matter how good you are. So I wouldn't want to see a firing right in midseason. I think that can
Nah.
shake the house pretty quick, pretty hard.
Yeah, I'm not
But
down for the fire in the mid seasons either. I'm like you. I'd rather you just finish the season, see how it goes, let people room to improve, see if people can change, figure that shit out. And I think I'm more along the lines of, we'll give you 5 or 6 years to build something. We won't overreact. We won't, just jump off the bridge immediately as soon as you do something, that we exactly don't want. I'll give you a little bit of leeway. But yeah, man, I don't know if I do what the Jets do. Some of these teams are, yeah, that's probably why they suck. Oh, let's keep going. I'd say Pickens is the Juju got to get the team on the same page. Uh, it is tough. I did hear this, Sean, about George Pickens when Connor Hayward scored his touchdown in the Sunday night primetime game against the Dallas Cowboys. That everybody was celebrating except for George Pickens, who had his head down sitting on the bench. That's kind of shade tree, dude. I don't know.
that's a bad look, man. You got to be there for your teammates and for the whole
Yeah.
team in general. So yeah, that's not a good look. And,
No, that ain't a good look. I don't like that. And he did that last year when Deontay scored. He was sitting on the bench pouting, and it's becoming a theme, man. You got to always be good to your teammates, no matter how bad you hate your head coach or how bad you hate the coaching staff or hate the scheme or whatever it is that you are unhappy about. You still have to support your teammates because you're in the ultimate team sport, Sean. You are in the ultimate team game. No matter where you go, you're gonna have teammates and you're gonna have to be good to them and you're gonna have to get along with them. And that's the only way this thing works. And good locker rooms, good teams, good teammates. Uh, that's how championship teams are made, in my opinion.
And I don't see why the coach didn't do something about it right then and there. Go ahead and just stay on the bench and sit there salty. And hey, Roman Wilson, come on, come on, it's time for you to get some reps, buddy.
Something.
Somebody that'll actually be excited to be out there and want to make
Mhm.
some plays.
Honestly, I think if Roman Wilson was healthy enough, he had already been inserted into the lineup. I really do think that. I think there's something still a little bit lingering there. But maybe, you got to find a spark there some way. And I know a lot of people will say, well, just trade him off, get rid of him now, and trade him maybe for Devontae Adams or something. But I think that that doesn't fix the issue in this wide receiver room. I don't think that it solves any of the problems, Sean. Do you think just trading George Pickens off and gaining another ultra talented wide receiver, a true number one wide receiver? Do you think that is the answer that the Steelers need? Do you think George Pickens maybe isn't a number one and that's what the Steelers truly need? And if you subtract George from this equation, bring in a true number one wide receiver, does that fix everything? Or do you think it would still be a broken room?
Man, I feel like they got to fix whatever it is with George Pickens, and he needs to stay in Pittsburgh. Whatever's going on, they got to fix that. Get to the bottom of it. I don't believe they should get rid of George. And I don't see anything wrong with bringing in somebody else to maybe take over as one and have George as being a number two. I mean, because he hasn't shown me that he can be like a true like this is our number one for the future. Like
Hmm.
he's got to make some improvements with his attitude, as far as I'm concerned, and sportsmanship.
And
But
when is the head coach in the NFL, Sean? I this just popped into my head when you were talking. When is there going to be a coach similar to a Bill Belichick, to be frank, quite frank, um, that takes a room like the receivers that are full of divas and says, "Look, if you're not going to get on the program here, you're not going to do it our way. You're not going to do the things that we ask, and you're not going to be an upbeat, good teammate. Get hit the bricks, and I don't care how talented you are." Do you think that that is the way Mike Tomlin should approach this, or any other head coach for that matter?
yes, I do. I do. I know that sounds harsh, but you gotta be that guy. You're not there to be these guys' best friend. You're there to run a franchise. You're there to win. And that toxic behavior is like cancer, and it spreads throughout the locker room
Ooh,
really
does
fast.
it?
You got to nip
Hmm.
that ass immediately if you're Tomlin.
Yeah, you say I honestly, you take a loss if you have to send the message.
Yeah,
In my opinion, and I think that that's exactly what you need to do sometimes in order to gain the reins, man, and pull people back in and let them know, look, I am here for you. I care about you enough that I want you to succeed. I care about you enough to put you in the proper positions. But if you aren't on with my program, you're not on board with this system, you are not on board with this team, I will boot your ass out and not give two shits about it.
yeah,
That's what I think needs to be the approach. That's just me.
I agree, man.
Yeah, it's tough, man. John Broadway said, "What's the definition of insanity? Do the same thing, expecting different results." I just feel we keep hitting our thumb with a hammer. We've become numb to the pain. Yeah, and that's where I think I become most frustrated with the Steelers franchise right now, in that they do the same thing over and over again and expect different results, and they do not adapt. And there's one thing, Sean, about having an identity as the Pittsburgh Steelers, a tough, physical, defensive football team. But there is another thing when you refuse to add anything to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
You want to add offense. You want to add different little quirks on special teams. You want to just be a little bit innovative. And I still think you could do both, don't you? I still think you could be a super physical, super defensive football team, but yet still add in new innovative ideas offensively and special teams wise.
Yeah, I think I don't know why they haven't yet. Yeah, absolutely. You need to do that. It's got to be, like I said, you got to help out on both sides of the ball. And that's how
No
you have
doubt.
a really solid football team. You don't want to put all the weight on one side.
No, and that's where you become one dimensional, Sean. And that's exactly what the Steelers are, one dimensional 90% of the time. And the times that they come out in the second half or in the middle of a third quarter or something somewhere, and they let the offense just go out there, throw the ball around, be loose, fast, and free. They are all of a sudden able to run it a little bit. They are also all of a sudden able to throw it down the field a little bit. All of a sudden, they score a couple points. But the minute that happens, Coach T goes, "Hey guys, reel back in. Defense will win this. Just
Yeah.
you got enough points." Doesn't it feel like that's exactly what they do each and every week?
Yeah, it does. Because as soon as they get a little comfort, like maybe a 10-point lead, boy, they start really running that ball and becoming ultra conservative and ultra predictable. And so then that's how these teams get themselves right back in the game. And that's a horrible feeling to go through each and every week as a Steelers fan, sitting on the edge of your seat. And this is against teams that, you can blow out of the water. Normally, when you got the talent on the Pittsburgh Steelers roster, they're just not utilizing these players correctly.
No, true, true. Danny George says if you have a bad tooth, you have to pull it to save the rest of the teeth. You get my point. I get your point exactly, no doubt. And that is it. And that's what Sean, I think that's what you were alluding to, cancer in the locker room, a player that can contaminate everybody, man. And that's exactly what Danny's saying there. One bad apple, one bad tooth spoils the bunch, my friend. No doubt. Pull that tooth. No doubt. I agree. Thanks, dude. Yes. Beer Mouse Tomlin treating this like it's Friday Night Lights, mentor young players, and he is really passionate about that. That's why he scolds players behind the scenes. Yeah, but this isn't Friday late nights. And I'm on board with that, Sean. I'm on board with mentoring young men and trying to groom them to be good, contributing men and good men in your profession. I'm all about that. But we are now in the big boy leagues. We are now in the grown up leagues. We're in the professional ranks. And I think Tomlin needs to peel some of that back a little bit, and perhaps maybe be a little bit more professional in that sense, in my opinion. I don't know. We don't know what goes on behind the scenes.
No, we don't.
Yeah, we all hear things, but let's be honest about this too, Sean. Ain't nobody telling you the damn truth. You don't get any of the truth. You know?
No, no, you don't want to. That's why I never believe what I first read with the national media. I'm just like, wow, I wonder what really happened.
Yeah, they can all sit here and say, yeah, Tomlin scolds people behind the scenes. How do we know? No one knows because they lie to you every single damn week. The coaches, the players, the media, everybody lies to you all damn week long, every single week. How do you know the truth? You don't know the damn truth. None of us do. That's the
Yeah.
problem. That's the problem.
Yep.
This Pittsburgh's ready for Big Tomlin to be up out of here. Bottom line, Tomlin, this is the NFL and it's a win based business. Yeah, and it's what you have done for me lately, no doubt about it. But it doesn't seem to be that way with the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's what you did for me 18 years ago, and that's going to count for something today. I don't know if that's the type of approach I would take. I just don't. No, Danny George, hell yeah, John Broadway, Beer Mouse, I know that's right, Miss Pittsburgh, John Broadway, we all need to call on Mr. Rooney and express our Stillers family truth, which ain't working. Yeah, man, write your local congressman. Right, Dan Rooney, baby.
I bet he gets a lot of mail too.
Yeah, he probably don't read a damn bit of it. John Bravo, hello, Sean. We all would love that. Bill Belichick called Tomlin predictable. Yeah, and if the greatest head coach is really calling you predictable, uh, you know, it's the truth. I am confident, and I'm not just saying this, Sean, and I am ultra confident as a very amateur layperson in terms of football and how football is drawn up and played. I am very amateur and very elementary in what I know. I can guarantee you, I feel like I could game plan against Mike Tomlin's football team. I really, really do, both offensively and defensively. I swear I could.
No, I,
I think it's
I
that easy.
I agree, bro. Like me, let me run a defense against him and watch me shut his ass down.
It's predictable. You know exactly what the hell he's going to do.
Yeah, it's way too
I,
predictable. It would almost be. I'd be licking my chops all week long. Yeah, here we go. I'm gonna go beat up on Tomlin's
yeah,
team.
no doubt, dude. He's just so predictable. It's not a joke. It's just reality in which we live.
We watch the same
Oh,
offensive game week in and week out with a defense that starts out solid, kicking ass, and then dwindles down to nothing because they can't catch a break during every game.
you know what's so sad, Sean? What you just said there dwindles down to nothing. Our defense already is eaten alive, and it's only week 5 or going into week 6. It only took them 5 games to totally destroy the defense.
Now we're down to like one starting pass rusher, and we started out with like a bunch of studs, man. And
Yeah,
we
yeah,
were
it's
thinking,
stable, a
yeah, we were thinking
thoroughbreds.
we're going into the season with a bunch of depth, baby. Here we come, playoffs. But
Yeah.
bro, oh,
Now
here
you're
we
lucky
go.
to have enough to field a damn ball club come Sunday against the Raiders.
Who's starting Aiden O'Connell? And I swear to God, if Aiden comes out and has a career day against our Steelers,
What's with Aiden O'Connell? What are you saying that about? Why?
he's just not. He wasn't even started like declared their starter from week one. They went with Gardner
Oh, okay.
Minshew. He
I
was
thought you
starting.
knew him from somewhere or rooted for him somewhere or something.
No, no, no.
Oh,
I'm just
okay.
saying
I
that if
misunderstood you.
if a second stringer comes out, finally gets the nod
Okay.
to go out there and like
Yeah.
we're going with you, buddy. We see our best chances of beating Pittsburgh Steelers with you.
Yeah.
And then he comes out there and fires off on our defense. Oh my God, I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna.
It might happen,
Um,
Sean. It might happen.
Bro,
Oh,
I don't want
Lord
to see
help
it.
us. Lord
I don't want
help
to see
us.
it. Tomlin, Mr. Defensive Mastermind, you better freaking stop this kid.
Dude, if Tomlin loses this football game at home to the Raiders, honestly, if I'm the Roonies, I gotta fire you. I got to. 3 losses in a row to teams that you should have beat. I gotta fire you, bro. I've had enough. You saw this last year. It started with the Colts loss. Do you not remember this? It started with the Colts loss. Then they lost to the freaking Cardinals. Then they lost to the Patriots. Are we going to see a repeat this year?
Oh my
Starting with
God.
the Colts, then going to the freaking Cowboys, and then going to the Raiders? Is that how it's going to go this year?
Oh my God, bro. I like I said, I can't take it. I won't be able to take it.
History repeats itself, Sean.
I got to set up a punching bag or something ready for this weekend's game.
No doubt.
Because,
No
because I
doubt.
don't, and normally I'm not even an angry guy, but this is just getting
It's
ridiculous.
infuriating. Yes. A.K. Davis. Tomlin acts like he really does not care about the offense, but it would actually help the defense if we played offense from the 2020s. You got to play some resemblance of an NFL system, absolutely. And the times I feel like that they do allow Justin to do a little bit more, I feel like they do okay. And I feel like when they cuff him into, we call to run, you're going to run a damn ball, and that's just the way it's going to be. I think that that's where you run into your issues. I really, really do. And I put out a question earlier today, Sean. I wanted to know Russell Wilson or Justin Fields. Who would you want to see start the rest of the way for the Pittsburgh Steelers?
God, that's such a tough one. I'm not one to pull Justin Fields just yet. I'm not. I'm definitely concerned about him fumbling the damn ball because he's done it 5 times already this year, guys. But I've seen
How
some
many did
great
he
talent.
lose of those? How many? Do you
I don't
know?
know. I just looked up the fumbles. I just looked up the
Okay.
fumbles.
I thought it might have been only like one, maybe two of those, but he did fumble 5 times, no doubt.
Yeah, you're right. He hasn't lost them all. I know that, but I'm big on protecting the ball, and especially when it comes to your quarterback. So I just want to see that number stop. I don't want to see any more fumbles from him. Him and that center should be working together every single day and have a chemistry by now. So I don't want to see Justin Fields come out yet. I would still roll with Fields right now, but I do wonder what kind of throws could Russell Wilson make? Could he find an open receiver? Maybe he can anticipate how to throw the ball better into each and every game. But I can keep going with the buts and the buts. Our offensive line's beat up. He's not gonna have much protection. Can he run out of the hole, out of the collapsing pocket as good as Fields? Probably not. So, gosh, this is such a tough one, you guys.
It is tough, and it is a hard dilemma. But I got to look at it this way, Sean. You can't have a quarterback starting on your football team looking over their shoulder. I feel like that is the worst situation in which to put a quarterback in. I just feel like they have to be somewhat comfortable at the pro level a little bit. And that's not saying that you can't pull them whenever you feel like. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that name a damn starter, ride behind a guy, like let them get comfortable, let them believe it's their football team. Do you agree with this? Just we'll play it week to week. Do you think that's fair to Justin Fields?
No, no, I don't. You like you say, declare who your starter is and ride that wave. That's the
Yeah,
way it should be. And whoever's on second string, that's just where they're going to be for the year. They didn't do this with Mason Rudolph. You know, he was always declared like he's second, third string. Like
yeah,
they've done this for years. Like, and it's old. Mitch Trubisky, Kenny Pickett.
yeah.
This merry-go-round is definitely. I'm over this ride, you guys.
Me too, man. It's tough not having a quarterback, man. It is, and we didn't realize how blessed you are to actually have somebody that was reliable under center. And the Pittsburgh Steelers have really only truly had that two times in their franchise history. To be honest, that's crazy. 3 years does go fast, beer malls. Oh, it's a given Tomlin won't be fired. Oh, yeah, for sure. It definitely is. Did you ever see Swan and Stallworth ever be jealous? No. They played as a team. Absolutely. And that's what you're looking for, Sean, especially in the wide receiver room. You don't want guys to be egotistical maniacs to where they get upset with other success. And I think, honestly, I think that what you should do, this is just me. I think as a coach, you need to literally watch how that is the first couple seasons of players in your building. And if they're not on board with being a team player inside of that room and really rooting for their teammates, their other wide receivers, I think you should get rid of them because I look at it this way. If George Pickens understands right now in his career, if he understood that going 100% every single rep, no matter if he's getting the ball or not, does what for this offense? It opens things up. Why? Because now the defense has to pay attention to him every single play. And right now, they don't, Sean. They cloud
No,
somebody over him, and when they see him loafing, that person goes to somebody else. That's exactly what they're doing.
and they're stacking the box. They're making it impossible for the run game.
Yeah, and whenever George Pickens, they know like he's the number one guy. Like shit, if he ain't gonna be running his route hard, it probably ain't a pass play. So yeah, play the run.
Yeah.
They understand this shit. They know what's going on. It's easy to identify for professionals. They know exactly what's going on, man. No doubt about it. All right, guys, we're about 40 minutes into the show, so make sure you are liking, sharing, subscribing, doing all that good stuff. We've had the Tomlin merry-go-round here the last couple days. It's cost some subscribers to the channel, but people don't like the truth in today's world. So, yeah, it's okay. It just amazes me how it's so predictable. The minute I even had a comment, Sean, of one guy, he said, what'd he say? He always got negative shit to say to me. He doesn't like me for some reason, but he watches every day. But anyway, he said to me, he goes, how do you say it? Oh, eh, don't you get tired of bashing Tomlin every other day? I put back, get it right. It's every day.
Look, we don't all have to see eye to eye on our beliefs. You know, we're all
No.
fellow Steeler fans, and I like to, you know, if just because we feel a certain way, or I feel a certain way, or Jason feels a certain way, um, we can all agree to disagree. You know, and still just it's good to hear other people's inputs. I like hearing why other people still feel like Mike Tomlin is the man because sometimes they say some good stuff, and you know, so I appreciate all the opinions I can get.
Are we playing in Las Vegas?
Let me find out.
Yeah, we are. Pittsburgh at. Yeah, it's elite. I didn't know that. I thought it was at home. I don't understand that. Kelly 66. I thought it was at home. What the hell? I'm off,
I
Sean.
even if they're going to Vegas, I still want to see them go out there and lay an ass whooping on the Raiders, man.
Why
Like,
are we playing there though 2 years in a row? It's a away game. It shouldn't be that way, I didn't think.
good
Huh.
question.
I don't know. Who knows? It's at Allegiant Stadium. I agree. You got to go beat their ass, but that was just odd to me. Pittsburgh -3 over under 36 and a half. Who do you take in this game, Sean, here on a Wednesday? Right now, as it sits, knowing the Steelers' injuries, knowing what's going on with this football team, seemingly behind the scenes with George Pickens and such. Uh, Who are you taking early in this week right now? Who are you confident in this football game?
I'm still confident in the Steelers. I still feel like they should go out there and play a really good football game. I don't care who's going out there on the offensive line, whoever it is, take this chance as an opportunity to make a name for yourself and make yourself a few bucks while you're at it. Um, but it's not even about that. I feel the Steelers still have the talent to go out there and win this game, especially when the Raiders are starting Aiden O'Connell. He doesn't have all the experience in the NFL. I feel like Gardner Minshew is more dangerous, to be honest, because he's just one of those guys that can just light it up or he can stink it up. But I'm afraid he would light it up against our defense. But
Yeah.
yeah, I TJ Watt's still in the game. Put pressure on him. Cam Hayward, I'm hoping to see him out there again. I still feel like we got some good players. Patrick Queen just needs to step it up. We got Peyton Wilson. He's learning, but I feel like he's getting better each and every week too. He's in on a lot of tackles. So yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna win this game in Las Vegas. That's what
There
I
you
feel.
go. I don't know yet. I got to say I'm 50-50. I got to say it right now. I feel 50-50. I want to believe that they're going to win. I just don't know. I can't even give a real answer. And that's tough. That's tough for me, man.
You
They've proven me wrong here the last couple of weeks.
you want your real answer? I think it's in the comments. Miss Pittsburgh says it, and it's pretty funny.
What'd you say? I have to
Says we
find
gotta
it.
we gotta get our ass kicked. That's the bottom line. It's Pittsburgh, but I think we could do this. I think we
I'm way
got
behind
this.
in the chat. I'm sorry. Beer Malls tells you 3 years. Watt, Hayward, and a lot of the defense going to be old, and we got to rebuild that. Yeah, no doubt. And I feel like the window's just going to be briefly open here right now to have a good defensive unit, and they're so beat up right now. I don't know what to think about this football team, Sean. I'm very confused with it right now. I'm very, very confused. Roberta Campbell, I don't see that working, having GP as number two because he has been a headache and quitting on plays. Pouting tantrum as a number one. Sorry, his attitude already is not good. Yeah, no doubt. It is probably only going to be able to get worse. No doubt about it. I'm going to catch up in the chat here, guys, real quick. Kelly 66 Belichick calling any coach predictable with his spying scandals is laughable. Would be predictable if you had all that video of what his teams are going to do. Beer Malls, defensive spending isn't like equilibrium with the offense. Time will expire for Tomlin. Yeah, I don't never really get wrapped up into the spending too much because I feel like contracts flip flop. I feel like after a few years it'll go back to the offense. But yeah, they do need to put a lot more emphasis into the offense. No doubt about that for sure. I'm not sure the Steelers are going to be able to trade any more wide receivers after other teams getting burned. Yeah. Example Claypool. Example Antonio Brown, Sean. Example
Even
20 Antonio Brown.
what about
Uh,
Deontay Johnson?
yeah, he's not doing too much either right now, is he?
Nope.
I don't know. I haven't followed him. I think he's a douche, but that's just me. I don't know. Like when I don't know, man. I'm not a wide receiver fan as of the last like few years. I'm just not. I cannot get on board to be a fan of any of them because their attitudes are, and this is for every team. Their attitudes are shitty, man. They try to be freaking millionaire gangster, and it's just like shut the f up, bro. They get on my nerves. I don't know if they get on anybody else's nerves, but man, some of the things that come out of their mouths, like, shut up. Mel Mills, why have I not heard Golden mentioned? Outside linebacker help is needed. I don't know, Mel. I don't know what they're going to be able to do there, man. Marcus Golden retired, though. So, yeah, he's probably not going to come out of retirement. They had him on the roster, they brought him in. I just don't think it's an option, That's why. But you never know. You never know what happens here. But he definitely retired on the Steelers. The Steelers had him there, going to play him, going to put him in the rotation, and he retired on them. So I'm not sure if that would be a viable option. Beer Malls, yeah, Roberta Brady was the leader of the Pats. Oops, nah. Noel was here to be a coach, not a buddy. Tomlin has overstated tenure. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, Coach Noel, yeah, he was not a player's coach. No doubt. I sent him an email on Sunday. Hey, Miss Pittsburgh, she don't mind. She don't mind, Sean. She'll message the Roonies.
That's awesome.
Sam Mason, I feel that loss was on the secondary. That 50-yard reception after we took the lead was devastating, by far the worst Sunday ever. Yeah, you could blame it on a lot of factors, but yes, the secondary did play bad, Sean. Do you think that that was because the pass rush was slightly ineffective for most of the night?
Yeah, that's got to be a part of it. I think it's a lot of things going down to they're getting tired out there. But yeah, I think that the lack of pass rushing, the starting guys out there, is definitely playing into effect.
Yeah, no doubt. If Russ gets tossed in, do you think he has a leadership mentality with these younger guys? Do you think Russ would be able to be a good leader here with these young guys, Sean? Or do you think maybe his message might not be received as well, considering he's a lot older than them?
I think it might take a game or two. If he goes out there and shows that he can hit the wide receiver that's open and just keep moving the chains and putting points up, the respect will follow. It's all about performance, if you ask me.
No doubt. Yeah, he did. Vince Lombardi did. He knew what he was doing. Yeah, you got to have a master class on every damn little aspect, no doubt about it. Tyrone Johnson, I know he used to do good things for you, but he has done for what has he done for you lately? Absolutely, and that's exactly what this league is. What have you done for me lately? Yeah, I thought we were playing in Pittsburgh. That's crazy. Rubber Road, Aiden passed for 2,218 yards as a rookie last year, 62.1% completion with 12 TDs to 7 interceptions. He is better than Minshew. I don't know. I haven't watched him play enough, guys.
Is he
Have you,
really?
Sean? I haven't watched him play enough. I can't really be
I've
honest.
seen, I saw Minshew, basically get the starting job over him, but that doesn't tell me everything. I just figured he was the better quarterback, and no, I haven't
Yeah, I don't know.
followed Aiden myself, but you know what?
No,
That's still not enough for me to think, hey, that guy's going to come in and kick the Steelers' ass.
you would hope
That's not
not.
enough.
You would hope not, no doubt. I got to do a little bit more research. I'm going to watch some game tape from him last year. I'm going to try to watch some highlights again of both of their quarterbacks and watch what Minshew did to the Steelers last year in Indianapolis after they were up 13 points and relinquished that lead. Mel Mills, I watched a tape breakdown of Broderick Jones. He is easily 60% of our O line problems. I would rather see a trade for a right tackle than wide receiver. We can't run behind this line. Yeah, here's the thing though, Sean. You can't. You're not going to get a good offensive lineman midseason in any type of trade. Teams just don't get rid of them. Why? Because they're so hard to come by. Do you think Broderick is just having a little hiccup here, and do you think he's going to be able to fix it?
I hope so. I do think he can fix it. I think he's still young enough and he's still early enough in the season. He can maybe turn things around. I'm not going to close the window on him just yet.
Yeah, he is a big issue on his O line, though. I'll give it to Mel on that one, no doubt about it. All right, guys, we're almost 50 minutes in. Make sure you're hitting a like, subscribe, share here for us on Steel City Live. I'm Jason, that's Sean. We are here daily talking Pittsburgh Steelers football, and we're going to continue to get through this chat, hopefully, and catch up. Yes, they are playing there. Thankfully, I didn't know that because I was going insane, trying to figure out why in the hell they were playing there 2 years in a row. Bear Malls, the remake, Jets game and Giants, New York home games before bye week. The final gauntlet. Absolutely. Mel Mills, you asked who you would want to see start at quarterback the rest of the season. It doesn't matter who the quarterback is. It doesn't matter who the running back is. It doesn't matter who that wide receiver. This O line is the problem. Well, yeah, no doubt about it. And I definitely preach that also, that the offensive line is the absolute foundation of every team, and they are the most important aspect of every offense, and they are the most important aspect of every defense, the trenches, no doubt about it. But you're not going to be able to get better offensively on the O line in terms of making trades and things. That's the only tough part about that. Do you think that there's any way possible the Steelers could execute a trade for an offensive lineman, Sean, at this point in the season, this juncture?
No, not really. I mean, if you do, it's just going to be somebody that was off a practice squad, most likely. I mean,
Yeah, you're not
we don't
getting
need
nobody.
that. If we're going to do a trade, let's make it worth our while. Let's get rid of somebody substantial to bring in somebody substantial for an impact.
Yeah, something, man. You just ain't getting a no lineman because they're so hard to come by because every team has trouble finding solid offensive lineman, no doubt about it. It is a very, very tough thing to do, man. And the Steelers have been really investing a lot of draft capital and a lot of things, money wise, a lot of just effort into making sure that offensive lineman or line was being rebuilt. Damn, I couldn't get it out. But yeah, they've definitely put a lot of effort into it, but yet it hasn't paid off just yet. So hopefully we start to see and reap some of the benefits of that as a franchise here. Figure it out before the gauntlet, Tomlin. Yeah, he needs to figure it out before no doubt, before the back half. John Broadway, Tomlin is nothing but mind games that don't work. Roberta, yes, sir, because that's how much the NFL loves the Steelers. We're going to get our ass kicked. That's the bottom line. That was the one you were talking about, Beer Moss. You know, it's not the black hole anymore like Oakland, but I don't know what to expect. They call it the Death Star now, is what they call it. Yeah, that's what they call Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada. John Broadway, to those who quit our mob, take your football and go home. If you believe in Tomlin, then fight for him, you bunch of jagoffs. Yeah, no doubt, man. This is a tough world that we live in, Sean. Everybody, takes and runs away the minute you don't give them exactly what they want. And I feel like that's what you're seeing with some of these diva wide receivers. They literally pout and cry. I don't know. I feel like the receiving core is in the NFL as a whole. 90% of the receivers are a direct reflection of the majority of our society in this country. That's just my opinion. Do you think that's true?
I think it. That's why I laugh because I never thought of it like that. But yeah, that definitely has a lot of truth to it.
I hope they are, John. No doubt. Beer Moles, why too, Kelly? We should win this game. Why does that always make me nervous to say? Because it should. Because this team is not predictable. Sidney Wilson, Fields is not the issue. Play calling is ass. Yeah, I agree. I don't think Fields is the issue right now either. I feel like there is a lot that could definitely change. Hold on, I was right here. Roberta Campbell, I'm with you about the wide receivers. The days of Rice, Ward, Fitzgerald, etc. is gone. Absolutely. I think it depends if Russ comes with our or with his attitude of young Russ or not the current Russ. Yeah, it's going to be wild to see if it happens. If you can deal with the 80s and 90s Steelers football, Tomlin football is a piece of cake.
Yeah, that was hard too.
Yeah, it was tough. Trying times, no doubt. Kelly 66. I don't care if George is a diva. I know that kid catches the ball and makes big plays. I hope we don't trade him. The other receivers are not great. We definitely need a good wide receiver too, like Adams. If Devontae Adams comes here, he's wide receiver one, and I say that why? Not because I think he's a better receiver physically, athletically. I think that he is a more mature receiver. I would just say that maybe he could handle the number one role because again, Sean, I bring up if you don't hustle every rep, nothing else works, man. When there's one weak link in the play, it falls apart. That's just my opinion. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
I hope to. That kind of worries me too with Devonte Adams. He's shown that he will quit on a team also.
No doubt. They couldn't run against the Colts or the Cowboys, and they were among the worst defenses against the run. Frazier is the only bright spot. Yeah, the only one bright spot. I think so. Along this offensive line so far, the rookie has probably been the best in my eyes. Who's your best? Who do you think's contributing the most, Sean, along that offensive line in terms of play so far this season for the Steelers?
Bro, it's Zach Frazier hands down.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. John Broadway, I'll tell why we lost to the Colts, the Raiders. It's the same reason why after 11 and 0 start, then went kaboom, Tomlin, and Tomlin. It ain't law and order. It's Ronnie Dangerfield action here. Denise Marie, what's up? Hit the like button.
Yeah.
Good show. Thanks, Jason. Thanks, Sean. What's up? Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Hey man, absolutely crack the shit out of that like button like you own it. Beer Malls, yeah, wondering if Pickens will get a 1 game suspension and miss the Vegas game. Yeah, Sean, what about that end of the game? Him grabbing that face mask and ripping that dude to the ground. Do you think that would warrant a suspension? I think they would have already handed that out though this week and been done with it.
Yeah, I don't know about a suspension, maybe a fine, but yeah, I think it would have happened by now also.
Yeah, I think they get their fines and suspensions and stuff early in the week. Sean, hey Sean, how about you give Tomlin a nice Hawaiian punch? John, I did call the Esquire Stadium and left them a message. Oh, Acrisure Stadium and left them message to Mr. Rooney about my displeasure of Tomlin. Yeah. Hey guys, if you call the Southside Training Facility, you can Google that, and there's voicemail boxes. I've known this because I was going to try to call somebody and ask them for an interview. But I called down there and I actually got the Danny Smith's voicemail box. You got to go by letters. I
Wow,
tried to figure Tomlin's out. I couldn't figure that one out, but you can do that. I know that for sure. So Google search Southside Training Facility. That's where their offices are, not Acrisure Stadium.
that's
Uh,
awesome.
yeah, I'm gonna try it one day. I should have left Danny Smith a message and been like, or yeah, Danny Smith a message. Said, "Hey, holler at your boy, bro." All right,
For
guys, we're
real.
gonna wrap it up here. 56 minutes in. Sean and I are going to give any type of closing thoughts, Sean, here for the night.
Um, no, not really. Other than just hope all is well out there with everybody. It's been a frustrating few weeks being a Steelers fan, and let's just try to keep our heads up, be patient, and let's see them go out to Vegas and put on a damn show for once.
Hell yeah, man. Hopefully this week's a lot brighter. We got to get back to our picks this week, too, on the show. We'll get back to that, too. But we'll be back tomorrow, man, with more shit, more shows. And maybe we'll try to ease up on the Mike Tomlin situation since it seems to be an offensive topic, our conversation for a lot of people. So we'll try to ease up on that. But yeah, Sean, thanks for coming, brother.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it. Good time.
Hey, no doubt, man. I'm gonna try to find our outro here if I can and get the hell out of here. But I guess
Thanks,
I
Roberta.
don't know. I don't know where it is.
Still
I'm
learning.
trying.
Still learning.
I'm still learning, man. Maybe Obi-Wan can come and help us out one day here. Obi-Wan should be back in the beat. We'll get to see Obi-Wan here shortly.
Yeah,
All right,
he
guys.
disappeared.
He disappeared, man. He disappeared. He went incognito. Now he's back. He went on a little trip. All right, guys. Well, we'll see you tomorrow, man, here on Mike Drop Sports. Again, thanks to Sean for joining me. And we'll be back tomorrow with another live show and another daily upload. So make sure you check that out. Again, if you're not watching it now, you can definitely watch it later after it uploads. And please share, like, subscribe, all that good shit as we continue to build, man. So peace, Sean. Thanks, bro.